Welcome everyone to the 2021, also a reboot of the 2020 state meeting for the Washington Society of American Foresters. My name is Andy Perleyberg, and I'm the chair of the event, the general chair, and I'm the chair of our local chapter. I'm an extension forester for WSU as a day job. And you can see more about me and all the presenters in your program on pages 9 through 14. Sean, would you like to say a few words about the Zoom before we get started?
Absolutely. Thank you, Andy. So this is a Zoom webinar, which means that if you are watching this as a non-panelist or speaker for this event, you are an attendee, and that means that you have basic functions. You do not have access to a camera or a microphone. This is just going to help us with the quality control of the event. You will have access to a chat. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and put your questions in the chat. We probably will not be getting to anybody who raises a hand. I would ask that you still post your question in the chat. Make sure when you post your question in the chat to click the drop down next to the two and send it to all panelists and attendees so that all of the people that are watching this event can see the question and we can reduce any major redundancies. Later today, we will be going to an open meeting forum, which is the more typical Zoom meeting where anybody can have their camera and microphone available, where we will have more of an open discussion style. Feel free to come and join us, and we can talk a little bit more about some broader forestry topics. I would ask, obviously, that everybody is respectful and decent, and I will be monitoring all video cameras and microphones during that event. So with that, I'll pass it back to you, Andy.
All right. Thanks, Sean. If you get a chance to meet Sean sometime, Sean is our newest member of the WSU Extension Forestry team, and he is responsible for Northeast Washington educational programs. So appreciate your help, Sean. So we are thrilled with this agenda. Like I said, we've had 24 months or more to work on it. It's not the agenda that we had originally intended. We expected to host a meeting that was going to be largely field-based and a little bit lighter on presentations. But the global pandemic necessitated that we do it this way. And we think that you'll like what we've come up with as a substitute. And looking forward to sharing North Central Washington with you. We recognize that we are not unique and that our landscapes quilt together communities interfacing with agricultural lands, waterways and mountain highways, houses in the woods, and annual risk of wildfire incidents. Many people are to thank for this program, as well as attending the conference. We have representatives from local, state, federal agencies, institutions, NGOs, and conservation interest groups, forestry trade organizations, and different local, state, and national levels from a Society of American Foresters. We've asked that the moderators keep the introductions short so that our speakers have as much time as we can possibly squeeze out of their given slots. We have very nice bio section that everybody contributed to at the end of your programs. And the programs were distributed in your initial letter with as a link toward the bottom of the letter that also provided the meeting ID code for this program, as well as a list of attendees. So you can see all of those people that are joining, and it's somewhere around between 110, 120 as of yesterday morning. So that's a good turnout. And I thank you very, very much for coming. Sean explained how the webinar and meetings are going to work. We will have lunch presentations. We'll have a virtual coffee shop. It's a little too early for a virtual happy hour, awards and networking opportunities as well. And those will be open mic and open camera for people to join in. For certified forestry education units, please check out page 5 on your program. And otherwise, I'm going to pass the mic to our state chair, Josh Meek.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Hopefully I'm not muted. Thanks, Andy, for that. Yeah, I am Josh Meek, 2021 Washington State SAF chair. Day job is a forester for Port Blakely Tree Farms in Southwest Washington. I think I got to start by saying I'm sorry to all you Zag fans for what happened last night. Pretty disappointing. I'm not a huge college basketball fan, but following that whole trajectory was pretty impressive. Anyway, seconding what Andy said, yeah, this has been an incredible amount of work that the Mid-Columbia chapter has put into this, and I'm super grateful that they were willing to do this, you know, given all the strangeness of the world and adapting to a virtual environment, which has its pros and cons, and I don't think was any less work than doing one in person by any means. So thanks to everyone for putting that on. Thanks everyone for participating in this. I think it's pretty impressive. We can get 100 and some people to tune into a virtual event. One other thing I wanted to say is, you know, those of us in the leadership level of SAF are constantly thinking about the slow decline in membership numbers. And part of that conversation is coming up with a reason for being a member of SAF. And for me, it's conferences like this. You know, this is kind of, once you get in your career, sort of the only way to connect to the broader forestry community, to see what's going on in different parts of the country, different management styles, different folks doing the work. So for me, this is really the reason that I stay involved in SAF. You know, I'm on the industrial forest management side of things, and I'm incredibly excited to see what's going on the other side of the hills. So yeah, grateful again for Mid-Columbia chapter putting this on. They got a great program. I don't really want to take any more time because I think Vicki Christensen is up next, and I'd rather hear what she has to say than I have to say. So thanks again, everyone. And with that, I will pass it back to Connie.